People feel free while being guided the entire time. The illusion of choice works by narrowing options before a decision appears. When people see more than one option, they stop questioning the structure. They focus on selecting, not resisting. In practice, this means you decide the boundaries first, then offer choices inside them. Both options lead to outcomes you already accept. This is done by presenting alternatives that differ in form but not in direction. It shows up when someone feels empowered yet ends up exactly where you expected. They chose, but only inside your frame. Control stayed hidden behind options. Choice feels free when refusal is quietly removed. Most choices are not between yes and no. They are between two versions of yes. In practice, this means no is never named as an option. You speak as if agreement is assumed and timing is the only variable. This is done by asking how rather than whether. The brain shifts from resisting to planning. It shows up when someone answers a question they did not agree to. They never said yes. They acted as if they had. The illusion of choice works by transferring responsibility. When people choose, they feel accountable for the outcome. This reduces blame toward the person who set the options. In practice, this means you let them pick the path, not the destination. If it fails, they own the decision. This is done by offering control over details while keeping strategy fixed. The person defends the outcome because they selected it. It shows up when someone justifies a bad result by saying it was their call. Ownership replaced evaluation. The structure escaped scrutiny. Choice feels free when options are framed as equal. Equality hides direction. When two options appear balanced, people assume fairness. In practice, this means you describe both options calmly, even if one is preferred. You avoid signaling which one benefits you more. This is done by matching tone, length, and detail for each option. The listener believes they are weighing objectively. It shows up when someone later realizes one option was clearly better for you. They did not miss the difference. They trusted the presentation. The illusion of choice relies on cognitive fatigue. Making decisions costs energy. When people are tired, they accept provided options faster. In practice, this means you introduce choices after long discussion or pressure. Resistance drops as energy drops. This is done by delaying the choice until attention is worn down. The person chooses quickly to end the discomfort. It shows up when someone says either is fine. That is not neutrality. It is depletion. Choice feels free when time pressure is controlled. Urgency narrows thinking without feeling like force. When time feels limited, people accept the menu given. In practice, this means you link choice to a deadline. You make waiting feel costly. This is done by implying that options expire or windows close. The person chooses to avoid loss, not to gain benefit. It shows up when someone decides faster than they planned. Speed replaced analysis. Control hid inside timing. The illusion of choice works through social comparison. People choose differently when they imagine how others choose. In practice, this means you mention what most people do before offering options. You set a social baseline. This is done by casually referencing common behavior or norms. The listener adjusts to avoid standing out. It shows up when someone says, "I'll just do the usual." They are not choosing freely. They are choosing to belong. Choice feels free when language implies autonomy. Certain words trigger a sense of control. Phrases like "up to you" or "your call" reduce suspicion. In practice, this means you signal freedom while shaping outcomes. You emphasize agency while guiding direction. This is done by affirming independence right before presenting options. The listener lowers defenses because autonomy feels respected. It shows up when someone thanks you for giving them freedom. The freedom was curated. The gratitude was real. The illusion of choice works because people prefer choosing to being told. Being told threatens status. Choosing protects it. In practice, this means you avoid commands and use selections instead. You let them arrive where you want by walking themselves there. This is done by offering paths that all reinforce your position. The person feels competent and in control. It shows up when someone resists advice but accepts options. They were never free. They were guided into comfort.